response on wax. And I haven't heard anything else from Joe about the situation, but I will say this, right? Um, did Joe, is Joe hurting the Joe and Jada show with the captain? Because he's throwing out stories that's got truth to it, but the embellishment is starting to hurt it. And then also, Joe would tell stories like you hear a lot of people speaking about how he's cutting off the gas. He keep making everything about him. I've been said that. I said that on this show, a while back. Joe always figure out a way to spin the story back about him. And that's what he's doing. But you could tell it's Jada kids make light of it and, throwing out the cat flags and all that type of stuff, right? But you could tell it's even starting to get to him. Total, I think, on 112 was on there, and they was, interview that's supposed to be about their story, but Joe got to tell a story about what's going on, and he be like, hold up, and Jada like, man, don't tell me to hold up, let them talk. And you could tell it's irking because you making the show about you doing we interviewing people. It's about you. You have to let these people tell the stories. People tuning in because such and such came on the show. We didn't tune in to listen to Joe to Fat Joe's story. If you want to throw a story in there, like I said before, then that's cool. But the whole show, you steady cutting people off to put in what was happening with you. Since I was over here, like, dude, we don't care, Joe. And a lot of these stories he's starting to regurgitate, and they being repeated. We heard it. But how are you interviewing people? You got an interview show, but you interviewing yourself. I just got to ask that question, like, do y'all think that Joe is hurting the Joe and Jada show? I heard somebody say that they can't even watch it because of all the cap and the way that Joe do the gas and, even like step over Jada. So I don't know how long this situation is gonna last. Not that they're not doing good numbers and all that, because they are. But I don't know how long that partnership is gonna remain because I think he's over the top. He's doing too much, and I don't know if I can say I can pinpoint a time that Joe did this, but the way that he's reacting and the way that he's doing stuff and how he's moving, you can tell this is who he is. It's all about Joe, right? And when there's some traction that's going with it and it's working a little bit, he take it too far. So I'm gonna say, Joey, my brother, my Puerto Rican brother, is it Puerto Rican and Cuban? My brother, pull it back, man. Pull it back, bro. Let these people speak their story. Y'all are getting some very dope guests. To the point that if you didn't do too much of that, I think you guys might be number one or in that realm of it. But I think Joe Budden's still edging y'all up, right? But I think he has to stop. Like I said, throw a story in there. But not everything somebody says, you have a story to counter that about you. When it's about them, now I can't even remember what the guest said because you telling your story. So like I said, if you want to do a show like that and it's all about Fat Joe, why don't you do a show called Stories with Fat Joe? And you can do that. I'm quite sure it will be a hit show. People gonna tune in because some people are tuning in to listen to Joe tell his stories or even just watch the hilarity of how he cut people off and make everything about him. But that's all I want to speak on with that was